figures that came back from the presidency saying that this was not exactly what was agreed. I mean, the leadership even said that themselves. And he was removed. I mean, Honorable Jibrin was ostensibly removed because members of the House of Representatives were not happy. What do you think happened? What led to their unhappiness?
Well, I would not know what made them unhappy. That will be personal to them. But talking about the president returning a budget, and you know how you transmit this document to the executive, the president has a legislative aide who gets this document and sends to him and then brings it back to the parliament. Now, if anything happens in between, I think the proper person to answer will be that legislative aide, like the SA on the National Assembly. Is it? I don't know his full name, Honorable Ita,
Senator
Ita, so will be in a better place to explain. The last time the issue of padding came up, I remember the government fired some civil servants in the budget office, meaning these people knew something. Now, I would have expected that other investigation would have been carried out and possible prosecution. Now, that is where we'll begin to get information as to what really transpired, who was involved, whether the parliamentarians were involved, or it was just members in the executive that were involved, whether it was the speaker or his deputy or his minority or majority leader or even Abdul Mumini himself. But right now what we have, for me, is politicization of the budget, because the president has talked about padding and everybody now want to use it for political purposes and paint others of black. What is happening now is that Abdul Mumini and his group have taken this in a direction that it can dent the entire...
His group?
Yes, that is Transparency Group. I think...
No, that he's not his own...
but they are
one second. Your submission here, does it mean that there's nothing wrong with the budget 2016?
The history of this country has been wrought with budgets that we can't even explain.
Well, nobody has really come up to say anything about the other budget, but this one, does it mean that there's nothing wrong? Do you see anything wrong with the budget of 2016?
Now, it depends on how we want to describe it being wrong. Now, we want to talk about procedure of passing it. Have they done anything wrong procedurally? The content of the budget may be wrong, right? But we're talking of procedure of passing it. We have 36 states in the country.
I know you're a lawyer.
No.
Let's keep it simple because we really don't have time. Okay. Is there anything wrong with the budget?
Well, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know unless I see the entire package. What we're seeing now.
But you see that the budget has been politicized.
It's been politicized. It has been right from the beginning. Right from the beginning, the budget has been politicized. The president had
should anyone be prosecuted?
Why not? If investigation is done, and then people are found to be to have done something wrong, we should have procedure. But
so since you're a lawyer and you know what is a legal document,
we've missed that point.
No, you're a lawyer and you know what's a legal document.
Yes.
Do you think the 2016 budget should be withdrawn because there's something wrong with it?
How do you withdraw something that has been assented? There's a law, as we speak. There's a law. All we can do is to go for supplementary. In the supplementary, you can do some variaments. Say this project is impracticable. We will now do it in this way. Now, supplementary can cure some of the defects of the budget, but you cannot say you are withdrawing it.
So, what legal action should be taken now to solve this entire?
The president has missed that opportunity. When he fired those people in the budget office, they should have been prosecuted. And then perhaps they would have sang some more tunes, and then we'll be able to discover what happened. But for me, what is happening in the National Assembly, the House of Reps now, for me, is strictly politics. Someone has lost his job and is trying to pull the entire House down along with him. Budget takes the two chambers, Senate and the House of Representatives, and they harmonize it. So if there is padding, it has to take the both chambers to pad it.
Well, the Transparency Group, from what they've told us, they're not on the same page with Honorable Jibrin.
Okay.
They say that himself, as Honorable Jibrin, and the entire leadership of the House of Reps should be investigated because they think something has gone wrong with the budget, which Honorable Jibrin, to some extent, also says some of those principal officers should also be investigated. So you have two different groups saying something is wrong, but you think it's politics.
Well, I think the transparency group work in sync with Jibrin, because as long as you bring down the leadership of the House, Jibrin's intention would have been
You think
achieved.
this is about bringing down the leadership of the House?
That is basically what is happening. Someone has lost his job and he's politicized.
But you say you haven't gone through the document. How do you come to that conclusion that it's about bringing down the leadership of the House?
I don't have to go through the document, because going through the document will now be looking at the content of a legal document. Whatever is in that budget.
Isn't that how you as a lawyer will come to certain conclusions? Are you relying on hearsay?
No. What I'm saying is that budget now, whether the contents are illegally infused or inserted, is a legal document now.
So
we've passed that phase.
Hold on. Hold on. You're saying that something is now law?
Yes.
If something was inserted illegally, the legality of that document stands, and nothing should happen to the people that did that insertion?
Now, that is the point I was making. How do you insert it illegally? If those contents were discussed on the floor of Parliament, it is not illegal. But however, like I said, if the period of transmitting between the legislature and the executive, someone infuse or insert something, which will most likely be a presidential aid, because it's the executive aid that moves it, not the legislature. So that is where you'll be looking at, not the legislature. So the president cut some people, sacked them, and that was the end.
But that was before. Now, in this case, we have two stories. We have two individuals or two groups saying the budget was discussed, the gavel went, and then the point of transmission, you're still insisting
these guys are playing politics.
Between the gavel going down and the president's office, some things were changed.
How do they know? They should ask the person who moved it. Why did you remember when the whole pardon issue started? How everybody was saying, is this person, and then at the end of the day, we found presidential aides defending documents saying they didn't do this, and until the president sacked some people in the budget office. Now, if we had taken that to the level of investigation, prosecution, perhaps we would have had more. But it ended, and then it's now a legal document. That someone is coming to say the procedure followed wasn't proper. If anything, in what I'm seeing now, some members are feeling shortchanged from what they are saying. Projects have been concentrated in one place, it didn't come to my place. The position of the transparency group for what I think is that they were sleeping. They slept, they didn't know what was happening, and now they are saying the leadership have misled us.
Your position is very interesting, because you say that, if anybody would have distorted the budget, it'll have to be a presidential aid.
Yes.
I mean, because these members say that they accuse the leadership of a breach of trust, that, changing figures. You do admit that figures can be changed, in between the House to the executive.
But not the legislature.
Just a moment. From the National Assembly to the executive, yet you exonerate the leadership of the National Assembly. How are you able to do that?
We must at all time, when we're speaking on law or institution, presume regularity. We must presume regularity. Now, the presumption is there that the legislature will do their job, and which they did. They did amend the budget, and it went to the executive, and the president discovered some.
What if our presumptions are wrong?
No, we cannot be saying that our presumptions are wrong, because the only place where people were found wanting was in the executive. The president cannot fire people if they were not found wanting. Now, you fired them because of budget padding, and that was the end. Now, legislatures are now, if you listen to these people carefully, what they are saying basically is that our leadership have betrayed us. Not that they've not done the budget, they've betrayed us. This was the agreement. The money is to be shared like this, but they have taken it to their place. It means they were not part of the entire discussion. They didn't discuss. Probably many of them traveled when the budget was discussed. They didn't look at the content. The budget is a large document.
Which you haven't also looked at.
Well, I'm not complaining about where projects...
No, you're accusing them of not looking at the content, because you haven't looked at the issues they are raising.
They slept on their right. If I'm in the parliament,
they slept on
if I'm in that parliament, the day we were discussing the budget, I will raise the issue. I'll say, hey, Speaker, your constituency has 3 billion. Why is my own having 200 million. I will raise that issue. I will look at it.
Brought up at that time.
All right. I'm afraid we have Joseph Onu is a legal practitioner and convener, Citizens Debate Nigeria. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back in a moment. Join us again.